at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on. Don't you give up. The text, the talk, and the takeaway. Here's the text. Hebrews 10:23. Hebrews 10:23. Hear it good. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering. For he who promised, come on, is faithful. Hold fast to the confession of our hope. If you've been hoping, hold on. Because he who promised is faithful. Don't you give up. Have you ever wanted to keep your word and couldn't? Have you ever wanted to keep your word? Hey, I wanted to keep my word. I was going to do it. I said I was going to do it. Something came up. Not only did something come up, maybe I changed my mind. Maybe it just so happened I just could not keep my word, though I wanted to. Have you ever dealt with somebody that they just could not keep their word? They couldn't. It got to a point that you had to break the relationship off or put boundaries around it because you could no longer deal with the fact that they would not, almost never kept their word. Keeping your word is so critical. And in the book of Hebrews, you have the writer who's writing to the church. Possibly it's Apollos who's writing the word. And he's writing to them and saying, God keeps his word. God keeps his word. And it's important that he writes this and tells them to hold on to the hope of their salvation. Hold on to their confession of hope and faith. Because God is going to keep their word. Why? Because they're under great pressure and persecution. The church that receives the letter of Hebrews, they are going through some stuff. And the writer wants them to know, no matter what, God is going to keep his word. There's 3 things I want to share with you this morning concerning don't you give up. Don't you give up because here's the first thing. God keeps his word based on his character, not yours. Come on. God keeps his word based on his character, not yours. That's why you should not give up. In the midst of us going through many times, we give up because of what we've done. We feel as if I stop believing. We get ratchet. Come on. Well, sometimes there are times when we just live ratchet. We just do. I just did it. I decided I was going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I could have measured up. And then I look with guilt and say, there's no way God is going to do it. But remember this, God does not keep his word based on my character, but on his character. Thank God my character is not what fully keeps God engaged with me, because he keeps his word based on him, not me. Here's the second thing. Here's the second thing that I want you to get. God keeps his word based on what he is trying to do in the earth through you. Let me say that again. It's kind of long. But God keeps his word based on what God is trying to get done in the earth through you. The classic example is the children of Israel. God says, I've made you my chosen people. I need to then share with the earth, the world, all that them that dwell therein, that I am God, and above me there is no other. And they were not into that. When the children of Israel grab a hold of God, they grab a hold of, for the first time, one God. One God. During that time, people worship many gods. And so God says, I am the God. Above me there is no other. I'm the Lord of lords, King of kings. And therefore, to show the people in the earth that it is only one God, I will use you children of Israel. Now, what are you saying, Bishop? The fact is that were not the children of Israel ratchet sometimes? Did they not always hold on to God? No, they didn't. They cut up for real, consistently. Were they inconsistent with God? God had to always come and get them in some way or another. Permit the Babylonians to take them into captivity, Assyrians to take them into captivity, Persia to take them into captivity. The fact is that God says, I'm keeping my word, Israel, through you because of what I'm trying to say in the earth. The same is true with you and I. The same is true with you and I. God is going to keep his word because of what he's trying to work through your life. He's trying to show folk that he will heal your cancer, that he will put your marriage back together. He will get you a mate. He will pay your bills. He's trying to show people that that's what he will do in the earth. So he's going to keep his word because of his character and what he's trying to do in the earth through you. Here's the third thing. God keeps his word because it is impossible for him to take it back. You know, sometimes people will call you and say, you know what, I got to take it back. I can't do it. I'm sorry, you know, and we release them and everything. We let them go. But no, that's not. Now I want you to get this. God, once his word is released from his mouth, God doesn't go back and try to push it back into his mouth. And his word was released about you when you were in your mother's womb. When you was a sparkle in your parents' eyes, God was putting together his word concerning you. And he released it in the earth through you. And he cannot then say, I'm going to take my word back. Because once God releases a word, he can't take it back. Now, I want you to understand this because when you get this, you remember when Jacob got the blessing and everything, and his father said, why? Esau comes to him and says, you know what? He took my blessing. He says, no, once I've said it, I can't take it back. That is the basis of what we see in the word. Once God says something, once God does something, he cannot take it back. So what does that mean to you? When God said he was going to bless you, when God said he was going to turn things around, he said that about you when you released into the earth, not right now. You think you are working in the present. God spoke about you in your past when you were in your parents' womb, and he cannot in your mom's womb. So he cannot then take his word back concerning you. So he keeps his word based upon his character. He keeps his word based upon what he's trying to do in the earth. He keeps his word because he cannot take it back. Therefore, what he said in the earth remains in the atmosphere. What do you do about that? Here's your takeaway. Your takeaway, you got some homework today. You got some homework today. This is what I need you to do, Manna Fam. Manna Fam, I need you to go find that thing that you used to pray about. Thank you, Jesus. Go find that thing. Go find that thing that you set down, that you quit believing God about. God didn't change, and prayers they do not lose their shelf life. There's some things that are on the shelf. You look at it, it's expired. Prayers do not expire. They do not expire. They go up to God as an incense to God. Isaiah talks about that. They go up to God as an incense, and there are the prayers. So you have to understand that prayer is still sitting in the heavenly courtyard. Go back. That's your homework. Go back. Get that thing that you stopped believing God for, because he hadn't changed his mind. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning. He didn't change. You did. He didn't change. You did. He's made up his mind concerning you. So don't you give up. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you. Give you peace. Share the manna. Open mic manna tomorrow. And you know what we're going to talk about. The election, baby. Come ready to talk. God bless you. Share the manna. Bye now.